There's a few times when you can utilize technology to be able not only to help everyday citizens to be able to get information they should be able to get, but actually even go and help building trades and construction companies and others to be able to understand where potential work may be. Pittsburgh is taking a big step today in utilizing technology to help both, to be able to let people to understand what's happening on their street and to help companies understand where work opportunities will be. By launching this, we are taking that next step of both transparency and revolutionizing the way that city government operates. Here to talk a little bit about it and the initiative that was launched through City Council is Councilman Dan Gilman.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. I first came to know about BuildingEye through the National League of Cities Conference in Nashville last year. And it was a presentation about how startup companies can transform government and the experience for taxpayers. And I was immediately blown away, came back and let Director Kennedy from PLI know about it. We did an RFP process to see what else was out there. And BuildingEye did come back the winner of the RFP. This technology that they're going to walk you through transforms business for everybody. For your normal Pittsburgh homeowner, no longer do they go outside, see work happening next door on their street. They don't have to call the council office. They don't have to call PLI. They can just simply go online and know, do they have a permit? What is the permit work for? Who holds the permit? How do I get in touch with them? They can know everything. For a community group, they can actually get alerts to know everything happening in their entire neighborhood. Who's filing for a zoning variance? What building permits are out there? What new businesses have licenses? All at their fingertips. For a council office, every time we get that phone call about a project, we can instantly now just go online and see where it is in the court process, who has permits or any other information. And for PLI and for zoning, they can now really go and track and see where's the work happening in the city. They can make decisions about, do we need more employees in a certain area of the city because of the level of work, all in a visual dashboard. This software will change the way we do business in the city of Pittsburgh, from a homeowner to a construction company to large-scale developers. All of it will now have it just at their fingertips to know exactly what's going on in the city and ways to make it more transparent. What we're doing today is really blowing the lid off of zoning and PLI and opening up their files to the world. And I think we are setting a standard for the country about that type of information from transparency and efficiency's sake. So I couldn't be more excited to stand here today and launch this for the city of Pittsburgh. And to really walk you through it, I'd like to introduce Director Maura Kennedy of PLI and Corey Lehman, our zoning administrator. Director.
Hi. Thank you all. So I wanted to take a moment to thank all of the people that made this possible. This project that we're launching here today is really the culmination of 2 years worth of work from the department staff. Thank you to Julie Ryland, who's seated here. She was project lead on this. Thank you to Todd Graff, who's our technology coordinator. Thank you to Narita Polenko and all of our permit techs and our support staff, all of our plan reviewers, all of our inspectors, and all of our supervisors. This project really represents the hard work that they have been doing every day for the last 2 years to make sure that our processes are correct and digitized. Also, a big thank you to the Department of Innovation and Performance and our colleagues in planning. This is really a team effort as we work together in the development process. So, as I said, in order to launch this process, we had to make all of the supporting processes in our licensing unit, in our building permitting unit, and our inspections unit happen correctly every single time in an accountable, transparent, and predictable way. So when we all took office, when Mayor Peduto took office, all of these processes were on paper for the large part. And there is no uniformity, there is no consistency. So first we had to actually build the computerized databases to run all of these systems on the back end, and then make sure all of the tens of thousands of records that were being put in and that were in part in the system already were correct. We had to do a massive data integrity effort and business process effort to really get to the point where we are right now. So again, the goal of this project is to make the permitting and development process more predictable, accountable, and transparent. There's a lot of changes happening right now in Pittsburgh, and we want this to be a very visible and user-friendly tool to allow all the citizens of Pittsburgh to be able to see and engage with what's happening in their neighborhoods. So we'd love for everyone to take a minute, check out to see what's happening in their communities. And if you don't see the building permit or the business license or the violations that you would expect on the map, there's a tool to be able to report that issue via 311 in real time from this website. So you can communicate back to us what we're missing. We really want this to be a team effort and to really engage with the community. So with that end, we're just going to walk you through a little bit on how the map works. So if you look at the far right, you can see that there's a couple different modules. There's building permits, city planning, which is Corey, the zoning administrator, is going to speak about further, the enforcement module, which is all of our violations, and the licensing module, which displays all of our current location-based business licenses. So if you click on the building permit module, which is where we are right now, you can use the address bar in the top to toggle through it and display the information a couple different ways. One, you can search for an exact address if you're interested in that. You can also pull up everything that's happening in your neighborhood. So say if you want to see what's happening in Mount Washington or Oakland, you can cut the data that way. You can also do city council district, wards, things like that. So if you go and search for a building permit, Julie's going to walk us through it right now. We can see what types of information will be pulled up. So this includes all of the different building types, and if you scroll down there, you can, again, segment the data and have it display different types of building permits. Say if you're interested in all the electrical work happening in Squirrel Hill for whatever reason, you can display that. And this includes all of the building permits applied for on or after January 1, 2013. So Julie's walking us through searching for a commercial building permit on the south side here. She's looking for new construction. And you can see here is you can see the address, the permit number, the permit type, and then the description of work, what you should expect to see on the site, and all of the permitting workflow. So you can see when they applied for it, when it was reviewed, all of the different steps of the process. And this is updated nightly. So if we approve a permit today, you'll be able to see it on the map tomorrow. We can also look through, if we go to the enforcement module, this is all of our violation notices. So if you call a issue into 311, we have an API that connects from the 311 CRM into our enforcement database, so it seamlessly pops up in an inspector's work queue. They'll inspect it within 3 days' time, and then you can see if there was a violation issued, you can see that data on this map. Again, it's updated nightly. So if we click through, we can, again, you can see different types of violations that we write. Our violation database went live on October 15th of last year. So the violations records that are in there are from that time. Prior to that, we were on paper, so we were not able to digitize those records. So if you keep clicking through, we can see particular address. Here we are. Yeah, excellent. Sorting by zip code here. And here we can see we wrote a couple violations on this property. You can see that where it is currently, we sent it to court. You can see the next court date that's expected. You can see that each specific violation that we wrote, this was about an accessory structure that was damaged and collapsed. So you can actually see what days we inspected and what the next step is in terms of the outcome. So if any citizens interested, they can show up to the court hearing on October 26th, or 26th. So we really want to engage the citizens in what's happening. And then finally, if we head to the licensing module, apologies. If you see a problem in your neighborhood, that is not reflected on this map. There's a way to connect to through one through here. We really want your feedback. Please report us issues that we have yet to inspect. So Julie, it just showed us a way. Go to the through one submission form, off the same screen here. It automatically pops up and you can input your through one request. And then it will, like I said, complete the feedback loop. So our inspections will then, in response to that through one request, will then show up on the map. And then finally, if we go to the licensing module, this is all current location-based licenses. So things that do not have a static fixed location, such as an electrical contractor, would not be searchable on this map, but things to have a static location. So if we go down to sign certifications, we can toggle through. And we can see where all of our certified signs are in the city. And Julie's here just searching for a specific address. So you can see, again, license type, license number, and what the license contact is. And then finally, if you want to proactively stay informed in the changes that continue to happen in your neighborhood, you can set up an alert. So if you're interested in receiving a notification, say, of every new building permit pulled in your neighborhood, you can get that alert sent to you at an interval of your choice. So Julie's just walking us through this process. You can either drop a pin and have it be within a certain radius, or you can choose district councils, wards, neighborhoods, and the like, where you can get alerts based on that interval. Then you just name it, type in your address, and then you'll be able to get an email alert. I think it's daily, weekly, monthly, depending on how frequently you want to stay informed. So again, we're looking to engage with the citizens of Pittsburgh, let them know what is happening in their community, and invite feedback so we can continue to work together to improve the built environment. So thank you all, and I'll pass it along to the zoning administrator.
Thank you, Director Kennedy. Thank you, Mayor Peduto, and to all of the colleagues. Really, I want to reinforce this has been a collaborative effort. Some of the key staff members in our department, Carolyn Ristow in our zoning office, and Mike Homa, the city's GIS director. For the first time, really, with this software, residents that are interested in the planning process, interested in zoning applications, what's going on at the zoning board, and much more, can find out what's happening in real time and in any corner of the city. It was really exciting. And not only does this create transparency and an equity of information for all of the citizens and residents of the city, it provides information that is typically requested of city staff by phone, by walk-in, by email, and by providing this information online right up front, it creates, frees up resources for the city staff that can provide quicker building permit inspections and quicker reviews, and can provide additional services to the public. In terms of what is in the planning module, if you take a look in the planning module, it's going to provide information about when there's an administrator's exception, or if it's going to the zoning board. These are applications that are typically notified of the public, projects that are before the Planning Commission. It gives some historical data as well as everything in real time as it comes in to our department. And then in the building module, because of the way that our planning and building process is set up, in the building module, every zoning approval is captured as part of that workflow. So you can see before a building permit is issued, when the zoning review was done, and then then you can flip over to the planning module and see, hey, did this require a variance, or did it go before the Planning Commission as a major project? So that is it, and thank you so very much.
Thanks, guys. I would say, since the days of David Lawrence, we have done things one way when it comes to licensing, when it comes to zoning, and that has been based upon paper. This is more than just digitizing a process. This opens the process up to everybody, allowing you to understand what's happening in your neighborhood, allowing you to understand what's happening in your city in a way that we've never had before. It's a tool that will provide information to people, and as the councilman said, to neighborhood organizations, that will basically give them the opportunity to become empowered and to be more informed about the very projects that they have either called to complain about or the ones they never even knew that were happening. And it provides this information directly to everybody in their own home. So in less than 2.5 years since Director Kennedy has come to Pittsburgh, we have changed a system that has been the same way for 80 years. And we have now taken that next great step of creating that type of city government that we want to see. One that's open, transparent, and utilizes technology to empower its people.